All right, today is August 26th, 2020, and here in this saucer is, these are Natal plums. So a couple of days ago, I came across these guys when I went shopping, and I didn't really know how common these were here in Hawaii until I actually found out some information about them. So the night before I had found them, I was watching all kinds of videos on YouTube on these, but I was pretty interested by them because I had done a video I think almost 2 years back. This was one of the first videos I had put up, and it was a bonsai attempt of mine. My neighbor was getting rid of this plant, so she just had me yank it out of her garden, and I decided to bring it home and see if I can salvage it. Needless to say, that bonsai did not turn out well. The plant just wound up dying. Although this plant is toxic, it is poisonous. The fruit here, which is the plum itself, is actually edible, but only when ripe. The plant does have thorns, and from what I've seen and what I've experienced myself, the thorns aren't poisonous themselves, but they do hurt if you were to get stabbed by one of those thorns. They really hurt. I'm going to go ahead and bite into one of them. So they have been compared to the fig in the way where they have latex actually inside the fruit itself. So you can see here, if I can get this to focus, you can see that white sap right there is pretty latexy. So I would assume if you are allergic to latex, definitely do not go near this fruit, or the plant at that, because there is latex in the fruit here. But I'm going to go ahead and bite into this. I'm going to go ahead and bite into this fruit. And there you have it. You can see all that latex in there. And you can kind of taste the latex as well and its texture. Although I wouldn't be one to walk out and continue enjoying these fruits, I would assume there are those out there who would. And you can see the seeds right there in the middle, so I'm going to go ahead and squeeze this. You can see all that latex, but so much juice as well coming out of this fruit. So it's a very juicy fruit. But those seeds, I've heard, are very good when it comes to germination. So I'm so happy that I'm going to have the opportunity to try and propagate this plant. Although I don't want to keep any more than just one because of its thorns. I'm going to go ahead and just plant them, because like I said, those thorns are pretty scary. You'll see in the other videos that those thorns, they're also considered double thorns, just the way they're structured. I'm going to go ahead and pop all the seeds out of these fruits. Like I said, look at all that latex right there. I know a lot of you would think this is gross, but like I said, there are also those out there who think that this fruit is absolutely delicious. Alright, so it is September 22nd, 2020, and here we are back at the Natal plums, also called the natal plum. So it's been over 3 weeks since we picked these guys, and as you can see here, the fruits look pretty dehydrated. Pretty cool, actually. So I'm kind of wondering, because of that latexy white sap inside the fruit, I'm wondering if I had let the fruit sit for maybe a couple of days, if that sap would still be there. But we'll check that out sometime in the future, and we'll do a little experiment on that. That way we can bypass consuming that latexy stuff and see if the fruit itself just kind of neutralizes it into a juice. So I did, the day that I did get the Natal plums, when I was eating them, I spat out some of these seeds here. These seeds have been out for over 3 weeks, so I'm not sure if they're still viable, but I'm going to take some of the seeds out of one of these juicier looking fruits, probably that one there, and I'm going to go ahead and plant them. So I'm probably going to plant maybe about 10 little 1-inch pots. You can see them right here, and I'm probably going to put 2 or 3 seeds per pot. Just wanted to give you a quick comparison of what the old seeds look like compared to the new seeds, and they're not necessarily new, but they're the seeds I just took out of one of the Natal plums. As you can see there, they look a whole lot more red. We'll go ahead and plant them. All right, so here we are. We've got our Natal plums planted into these 10 little 1-inch pots, and I think I've got approximately 3 seeds per container. So we'll give these guys, I'm going to place them in a semi-sunny, semi-shady area, probably just under a tree, for approximately a month. Okay, so it is October 21st, 2020, and it has been pretty much right about a month since we've been back to the Natal plums that we planted. As you can see, the majority of them have germinated. There are some weeds that are also growing in these small containers, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to go ahead and pull them out here in a little bit, but I want the seedlings to establish themselves first. So here's an example. The weed is on the right, and on the left is the little Natal plum that germinated. You can see the difference between the two. This tall thing here isn't a Natal plum, that's actually 2 weeds, and this is the only pot that hasn't germinated, and I don't think that it will. I want at least one of them just so that I can have my own Natal plum for the collection. But as for the rest, I'll probably end up selling them or giving them away. This plant does make a great border for your property because of all those thorns that I stated earlier. And these things are pretty scary. And these bushes, these Natal plum bushes, they get pretty thick. So it'd be pretty hard for someone to get through that bush without getting seriously hurt. So we'll continue to let these guys grow here in these little 4-inch pots, well, 1-inch pots, and we'll come back maybe in another month when they get a little bigger. All right, so it's November 21st, 2020, and we're back here to the Natal plums. As you can see here, they've grown a little bit more, but not so much. I think we're going to leave it here for now, and we'll come back in the future for another video, beginning from the transplantation on up to when the plant gets a little bigger. But I hope this video so far has helped any of you out there who are trying to grow Natal plums from seeds. I'm not sure if they would grow from cuttings, but as you can see here, we've got a 100% germination rate when it comes to seeds. So the clip before this one, there were 9 of them that germinated, and 1 that I was sure wasn't going to germinate, but I just left them in here with the rest of these guys. And as you can see, they've all germinated eventually. So some of them have 2 Natal plums that have germinated in the little container, and others have just 1, which is pretty cool, because instead of me having to separate the Natal plums into individual plants, I've already got some Natal plums here that are already growing by themselves. So I don't think I'm going to separate the bigger ones, well, the ones that are growing here together. I don't think it's too much of a problem that they grow next to each other. It's only 2 of them and not 3. I think if 3 of them were growing next to each other, I'd definitely be separating those guys. But it looks like we're going to leave them this way, and like I said, we'll come back in the future to do a transplantation video on up to the Natal plum getting a little bigger. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys learned something from it that'll help you in your own grow. As always, thanks for watching, guys.